Yes, start of this month, you had the auto companies come out with their monthly sales figures. It was a mixed set of numbers coming in for the automakers for the month of March. And just a short while back, you have Maruti Suzuki that's spoken about them going ahead and taking a price hike in the month of April because of the input cost pressure that the company is facing. But nevertheless, let me bring on board my colleague Shrishti to actually talk to us about how the data was for the month of March for the automakers. Shrishti, take it away.
So this time in the month of March, if we see the segmental performance, then the passenger vehicle and commercial vehicle sales were better than the rest of the segments, and that was we were expecting at ET now. Firstly, starting with the passenger vehicle sales, the Maruti Suzuki sales, there was just 4% of recovery on a month-on-month basis in the production numbers. But given the headwinds that's coming for the sectors, this is a fairly better performance than what we were expecting. While for Tata Motors passenger vehicle, a jump of 5% on a month-on-month basis in the production numbers is what we witnessed. The EV sales did really well for the company, and M&M Automotive division, it was a flat sales on a month-on-month basis this time around. But look at the sales in commercial vehicle segment. Ashok Leyland, a jump of 37%. Tata Motors CV, 25% uptick, and Eicher Motors VECV, a growth of 50% on a sequential basis is what we witnessed. Talking of two-wheeler segment, for Bajaj Auto specifically, there was not much of a support coming in from the export numbers this time. So on that front, there was just 14% recovery on a month-on-month basis. But apart from that, if we see Eicher Motors VECV, then the sales were actually good at 67,000 of units, even more than that for the month gone by. And for TVS Motors, it was more than 3 lakh units that the company sold in a month gone by. But for Hero MotoCorp, it was a 26% jump on a month-on-month basis, and the sales number were actually better than what we were expecting. And lastly, coming to the tractor sales, a bit of a surprise coming in when we talk about the numbers, because it was fairly above than what the street was estimating. M&M Tractors and Escorts performed really well with a jump of more than 50% on a month-on-month recovery is what we witnessed, and the companies are even optimistic about the demands in the times ahead, where they are also looking for some kind of a price hikes.
All right, thanks so much for that, Shrishti. Well, certainly a sector that is happening, a lot of factors at play, especially when you look at the fundamentals that are affecting it. Let's get our experts on board. We've got Gaurang Shah as well as Kunal Bothra. Kunal is joining us in studio. Good morning to the both of you. And Gaurang, I'll come to you first. The auto sector is an interesting place. However, there are a lot of pressures to talk about in terms of input costs, and also now individuals that seem to be putting off purchases of vehicles on account of the increase in fuel cost and running cost. So how does a retail investor approach the sector? What names would you suggest they look at?
Thank you, Alex, and good morning to all of you all. So the problems for the entire auto sector started quite a while back, starting with the migration from BS4 to BS6, then the changes in the vehicle insurance policy. After that, we had statements coming from the government in terms of making the vehicle much more secured. Given the crash test results, it was quite sad to see most of the vehicles which are manufactured in India were substandard when it came to that crash test, barring some of the vehicles from Tata Motors, which did pass 5-star rating. Then you had the supply side issue, chip semiconductor issue, which of course till date stands unresolved because of uncertainty that had come up because of the geopolitical situation, and the lack of demand from semi-urban and rural India. But with the same breath, Alex, I would say that you have to take a contra call on auto sector for those who have a little bit of high risk appetite. And not to forget, in the month of April itself, if I'm not mistaken, I was reading a report a while back, there are close to half a dozen launches which are lined up, be it new launches or a new avatar of existing models that are there. And of course, for the entire remainder of the calendar year 2022, you will have many more launches coming through. So we remain positive with a caveat that recovery will take a while. And the rising petrol and diesel prices, in the last 16 days, we have seen 14 hikes. So that is also a deterrent. But as Shrishti was mentioning a while back, the demand for electric vehicles, especially in the four-wheeler segment, has gone up considerably. In Mumbai itself, Maharashtra, the registrations have gone up by almost about 100-120%. Uh, the case of some of the two-wheelers turning into Fireball XL5 is something that needs to be investigated. We've had a couple of cases of two-wheelers, EV two-wheelers catching fire because of overheating, etc. So that's a matter of investigation, but overall remain positive. So in the four-wheeler, we like Tata Motors M&M. In the two-wheeler category, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motors, and Hero MotoCorp. In commercial vehicle, we like Ashok Leyland and Eicher Motors. And in the tractor and earth moving segment, we are positive on Escorts. So I would say that one can, given the uh, uh, headwinds in terms of underperformance and valuation, has become a little bit attractive. So if you have say about a year and a half plus time horizon, I think it is time to possibly look at auto sectors as a contra bet.
A bet for Gaurang, Shah, and yes, we've seen the rise in EV sale as well. Yes, Alex short while ago was also talking about making that purchase in the EV segment, isn't it, Alex?
No, I'm sticking to ICE, at least for now. Let's see in a few years. But scooter, yes, I'm thinking of a scooter. Traffic has gone back to normal, like I said.
Yeah, no, it's beyond normal now, actually. That's the way how Bombay traffic is moving right now. But Kunal, what's your take on the auto space? How does the pack look to you on the charts? Is it a contra bet for you as well? Because fundamentally, over the longer term, yes, things are positive. In the short term, there are a lot of hiccups coming in for the auto space.
So good morning, everyone. I believe it's bound to be very selective for the auto pack. You can't be completely bullish or outright bullish on the entire pack. I think there are very few stocks which are looking quite strong on the charts. For example, Tata Motors, M&M, these are the two names which are looking exceptionally strong. These stocks have managed to withstand a lot of correction for themselves and made a good comeback whenever the markets have gone into a stable phase. But then there are the other names like Hero MotoCorp, the stock which has been the thick of the news flow. That's looking quite weak in terms of chart structure. Bajaj Auto is emerging to be a good candidate of a fresh breakout, but the stock still has to confirm a lot of parameters on the upside. We look at the Nifty Auto Index chart as well, that the Auto Index chart is still trading above its major as well as the minor support bands for itself. So for someone who's looking out for long positions, they can start to build up long positions on the Auto Index, but again, very selective on the stocks.